Hey, be careful. No scratches.
What's up, YouTube? It's been a total of 4 days since we picked up the Mojito Jeep. I've been all over the internet ordering stuff. We had a truckload of Amazon stuff to come today and some other products, so let's check out what I got going on here. It almost didn't fit since we got the doors off. I had to strap in this package here because I was afraid it was going to slide out the door. But the first thing we got was I ordered from Topsy Products. This is the hinge hoists that you attach to the top so that we can use this Raccor ceiling storage lift, which we're going to mount in the ceiling. That will lower down, hook to the hoists from the Topsy Products hinge hoists, and that will allow us to easily lift off the hardtop, because last night we needed 3 people to lift it off and put it away nicely. All right, in our next package here that we got from Amazon, I got this 13-inch Shorty black antenna, which we'll throw on here, see how it looks, and we'll check and see how well the antenna reception is. But I can't stand the chrome tall one that came with the Jeep, so we'll swap that out. Hopefully that'll work good. This was $16 on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description so you can check it out. I also got a hitch extender because our bike rack that we have is the extension doesn't reach quite far enough out to get past the spare tire. So I did some measuring and I grabbed a 7-inch hitch extender, and I'm hoping that 7 inches is enough. Let's ask the ladies. But hopefully this will do it to give me just enough extension here that with my bike rack it will clear the spare tire. So we'll check that out here in just a few. And last but not least, I picked up a set of Mopar official floor mats. Ours did not come with the all-weather mats, so we picked them up. I found them on Amazon. I was price matching with WeatherTech because I do get a good deal on WeatherTechs, but even with the WeatherTech discount, these were still $50 cheaper. I got these for $98 on Amazon. I will put the link from where I purchased them from in the description, but these are both fronts, which actually do have the drain spot in them, as well as the full back seat, which is a 2-piece that will clip together just like that. And I like that it had the Jeep logo on it. It says Jeep, it's got the logo, and then some of the fancy topographical design. So we'll get these thrown in there. Okay, so we're gonna remove in the front here, we're gonna remove the factory carpet mat. Just get rid of that. And the new all-weather mats have a cutout here, which is for the drain plug in the floor of the Jeep. And what happens is this came with a little piece of carpet here that's kind of covering the plug. And the instructions for this new all-weather mat show that we do need just to cut this out so that this will fit right through into the plug there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It's just held in 2 little spots here. Okay, so you can see that the plug is now exposed there. This plug is just like a rubber grommet here. which we're gonna go ahead and pop out so that it exposes it down into there. And what that'll do is it's going to allow for any water that gets in here, if we get caught in the rain with the tops out, to just drain right through and out of the vehicle. And I was told that it's a one-way drain, so the water can only go through this way and out. It can't come back up through from the bottom if you were off-roading and in deep water. So now that we have the floor mat in with that drain exposed, what wifey pointed out, and if I would have looked at the instructions I would have known, the plug that we took out of the floor actually fits right in here in the mat. So now if we get rain in here, it's gonna puddle in here. All we gotta do is pull this and it'll drain right out. So that's pretty slick. We're gonna go around to the other side and it'll be the exact same process on the passenger side. Ding! So as I mentioned, I picked up this 13-inch black antenna from AntennaX on Amazon. It was about $16. Came 2 days with Amazon Prime. So this is an easy one. All we're gonna do is just take a little wrench here. There's little notches on both sides here, as you can see. Just slide this on there, and really easy. It just comes loose, and it just unscrews once you get it down to being finger tightened. So the new one from AntennaX actually comes with a little threaded piece that's threaded on both sides. That's gonna go, the bigger side is gonna get threaded down into the slot here. And we're gonna snug that as best we can by hand. Then we just take the little shorty antenna, which is nice looking. It's a little thicker at the bottom and then tapers to the top. It's nice looking without being too fat. Actually kind of flexible too. And then we're just gonna go ahead and thread that onto the thinner part on top here. And voila, just like that. In what, 2 minutes, we've got rid of that eyesore antenna and replaced it with a nice little, better
That's
looking
like a fencing sword. Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
And then the other one's like a Harry Potter wand.
Our Harry Potter wand.
All right, be careful.
And that's it, we're done. We've had great stereo reception with this antenna, but we do notice that it does bend and flop quite a bit when driving. We're just hoping that it doesn't start to stay bent when the vehicle's in park. So next I had I've got my Soft Ride 4-bike bike rack. But what happened, what I noticed is the way that the positioning is for the bolt on this, when I slid it in, was going to be too short to get around and past the spare tire here. So what I did was I went on Amazon and I found this. It's a 7-inch extension for the tow hitch from Tow-Ever. This was, I forget, I'll put the pricing and everything with the link in the description, but it wasn't very expensive, 26 bucks I think it was. And I think it's gonna work out perfectly here, so let's check it out. First thing I gotta do is take off the little cover that came from the factory for the hitch. And then this is just gonna slide in here to the bolt hole, or to the hole. I did have to provide my own pin. Luckily I do have a bunch of these around, so I didn't have to buy one of these. These aren't very expensive. You can also get these on Amazon. But all it's gonna do is slide through the hole and then put the pin on the back here. If you want to get a locking one, you might want to do that too for your bike rack, but I'm not too worried about it just yet. If I was traveling, I might want to get one of those, but for now, this is going to be just fine. And then what that's gonna do, I'm gonna take this, I just need to pull the screw out here. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this and slide it in here until it lines up with the hole. Oh, and I do have a problem. Okay, I thought I had a problem because this wouldn't slide into the receiver part far enough to catch this second hole, which was all I thought I had with the threads. But what had happened on my bike rack was this had slid over to where the threads were only lining up with that hole. So on my rack here, I was able to straighten this back out so that I have the opportunity to use both different screw holes here. So now with that, I'm able to slide it in. And if you come around over to this side, you can see that now that first hole lines up with the threads, and I'm able to line this up and go ahead and thread it in here. And then when I'm ready to put my bike on, which will be this weekend because I am doing a triathlon, I'll load up my bike on here, I'll tighten this down real nice. And as you can see, there's plenty of clearance here from the tire. This rack is kind of nice because it gives me the opportunity to, once this is up, this arm is up, it allows us to swing it away by pulling this to swing it out. And then you can see when it's fully up, there's plenty of room. It's not going to be a problem. It's going to block the backup camera, obviously, but that's going to do that with any bike rack here. So this is going to work out perfectly for me. Okay, so some of you were having some questions on the Facebook group yesterday about this bike mount, so I thought I'd add a few more things into this video. Just thought I'd show what it looks like when you're looking through the backup camera with the bike rack on and one bike right now. I just threw my bike back on just to show you guys. So this is what you see out of the backup camera. So you can see it's not fully obstructed, but obviously it's going to block your view a little bit. And then I'll show you how it swings open with the door and everything. Okay, so I loaded up my bike on here just to show you what it looks like with actually having one bike on the Soft Ride. I believe it's an Element bike rack, 4-bike rack. As you can see, it'll hold 4 bikes here with the hitch extender and everything. But also wanted to show you with this bike rack, it's got the release that I pull here that lets it swing out of the way. And what we did find while using it over the weekend here is it actually does give a decent amount of clearance. If you want to come closer here, you'll see it actually just clears our spare tire. We've got bigger wheels and tires coming, so it may not clear with the bigger one. We'll see shortly. But it does allow it to swing pretty far out of the way, enough to where we can actually open the glass and get enough clearance here. So the setup with the 7-inch extension actually works pretty nicely. Again, it's a little tight, and we'll see what happens when I actually switch to the 35-inch tires, but works out pretty good for our situation, at least for now. All right, I'll make sure to put all the links in the bio for all the different products we talked about in the video here today. As always, make sure you subscribe to our channel, comment, like, and tell your friends.